all the people around me, I felt like I was having an anxiety attack and I was in a nightmare, but I couldn't tell anyone what was happening because I was so drugged and so out of touch with what was actually going on around me. And I remember thinking, just breathe and try to make it through this and you'll be okay in the end. And I just wanted to scream and kick my legs, but I couldn't move anything and I was numb. And I knew that I could feel tugging and pulling as they were getting the babies out. And I could hear them crying and there was commotion in the room, but I just had to close my eyes at that point because I was hemorrhaging and I got really cold and lost a lot of blood. So, but I also wanted to see my babies and hold them, but I wasn't able to. So it was this weird sense of I could understand and comprehend what was happening, but my body couldn't react and I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do with my babies. And I was so cold and so sick. And then I remember, you know, the doctors and the nurses trying to warm me up, and I could hear my babies crying in the distance, and I wanted to feed them and hold them, but I just didn't have the capacity, or, you know, I just wasn't strong enough to do it. And thank God my sister was there to help me and to nurse the babies, and because she was nursing her own children, so she had milk to share with them, and that gave me a sense of relief, and I felt comforted by that. But I also just, I wanted my babies and I wanted to lay with them, and I wasn't strong enough and I felt weak and drained. But I was also so thankful that they were born at 6.5 and 7.5 pounds, and they were healthy and robust, and they didn't have to go to the NICU, and I was able to take them home 3 days later. Although the recovery was awful and the C-section part of it was awful, I'm glad that I experienced going into labor. Although it was painful, I feel thankful that I got to have a piece of what it feels like to have a normal natural labor before the epidural. Even though the end wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, I felt like being pregnant with them and taking it as far as I could, and actually going into labor myself gave me some sense of peace in the end.